everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ashley and I'm an architect in Ontario, and in this video we're going to be talking about the top 3 universities for architecture. So perhaps you're looking into applying for your master's degree or your undergrad and you don't know where to apply. Well, in this video I'm going to be talking about the top 3 universities in Canada that you should be considering to apply. So if you're interested, let's get started. So before we get started, I just want to mention that we're only talking about the top 3 universities in Canada, but there are some other programs that perhaps you should also consider. But in this video, I'm only talking about the top 3. I will be doing another video in the future about the other programs that are also something to consider. Of course, they're not on the top 3 list, but they are programs that I would look into applying as well. And of course, when you are applying for universities, you should also consider in applying to as many places as possible. And I share the factors that you should consider when you're applying for your master's degree in the video above here. So I would check out that video if you're looking for what you should look into when you are applying for a program. And so when I'm evaluating also these universities and including them in the top 3 list, I'll be looking at the programs that they offer for architecture. We're going to be looking at the location and the facilities and also the tuition costs as well, because that's something that you should take into consideration as well. Number 1 on the list is UBC. Now, I'm not just being biased here. There is some facts to having UBC number 1 on the list. According to QS, it's ranked number 30 globally. So globally, the architecture program at UBC is ranked 30, and that is ranked ahead of any other architecture program in the country in Canada. So that goes to tell you a lot. So I am not surprised to see that UBC is ranked ahead of U of T, Ryerson, and all the other architecture programs in the country. It's not a surprise. It's a great program. I really enjoyed my time when I was doing my master's program at UBC, and I'm hoping to share that experience in a future video, so stay tuned for that. But it's a great program, and it starts from the faculty. The faculty at UBC are amazing. It's really great. I had a wonderful time, and I highly recommend it to anyone that's interested to do their master's program or even their undergrad. It's a really great program. Now, I can say that I didn't have this experience with other programs, and so that's what makes UBC so unique. Is the program is so diverse, and there's faculty with different interests and topics, and none of them really push you on topics that they want you to look into because of their personal interests. And so that's something that I really valued when I was doing my master's at UBC, and that's something that I would consider and make sure that there is that diversity in the program that you are looking into. So the programs offered at UBC, there's quite a few. There's 8 programs in total that you can look into. There's the Master of Architecture, which is professional and it's accredited degree. There's also Master of Landscape Architecture, which is also a professional degree, and it is also an accredited program. So one of the unique things about UBC is they also offer a dual degree option where you can also do your Master in Architecture and your Master in Landscape Architecture together and get a dual degree, and both are professionally accredited programs. So that's something that I haven't seen in other universities across the country. So that's something that's uniquely offered at UBC. They also offer a Master of Urban Design. They also offer a Master of Advanced Studies in Architecture, which is a post-professional degree. And they also offer a Master of Advanced Studies in Landscape Architecture Studies, which is also a post-professional degree. So those are not professional degrees, they're post-professional. So after perhaps doing your professional Masters of Architecture, you want to continue to study and to look at a specific topic that you're interested in research in architecture, then you could do a post-professional. And so they have one both in landscape architecture and in architecture. You can also get a Master in Engineering Leadership in High Performance Buildings, and this is pretty unique as well. I haven't seen this in other universities as well, and I believe this is a new program that UBC is offering, which I think is great. They also have a Bachelor of Design in Architecture, so that would be your equivalent to an undergrad in architecture. So those are the 8 programs that UBC offers, which there's some great selection and diversity in there. Now, the university is located in Vancouver, but the campus is a bit isolated from downtown Vancouver. They are slightly southeast of downtown Vancouver, and so I would say that would be, maybe this wasn't too much of a downside for me, but it is a little bit isolated from downtown Vancouver, and they do have their own campus, which is a bit isolating from the Vancouver downtown. But I didn't find this to be too much of a hassle. It was only a bit of a hassle when you were looking to get materials. If you are building something and you need to get some wood or supplies to build a prototype, then having your campus closer to downtown would be a lot easier. And also, of course, being in the downtown core of Vancouver, it's also a different culture and you get exposed to different things as well. So that would have been nice to have if the campus was located downtown. But for me, again, it wasn't a complete drawback either, so I was okay with that. Now let's get into the tuition costs, and these numbers are per year, and they're also listed in Canadian dollars, and they're for 2021. So one of the lowest tuition rates across the country for masters is UBC. So the master's program at UBC for domestic students is about $5,830.11, and that's for domestic students. For international students, you're looking at $45,348.09. So that's what you'd be looking at for 1 year. Now, it's important to note that UBC is an interdisciplinary program. So it's 3 years if you do have an undergrad outside of architecture. So for example, if you have an undergrad in arts, visual arts, for example, then you would do a 3-year master's program. However, if your undergrad is in architecture, then you can get advanced standing, and that you could get 2 years or 2.5 years, depending on your undergrad and the courses that you completed. And they would do an assessment of that, of how many years, upon your acceptance letter. Now, the Bachelor of Design in Architecture for domestic students, you're looking at $9,051.30. And for international students, you're looking at $41,857.80. And so that is the Bachelor of Design in Architecture, Landscape Architecture, and Urbanism. So it's a pretty diverse and interdisciplinary bachelor's program, which is great. I also wanted to talk about the facility. Now, UBC has a good facility. I wouldn't say it's the state-of-the-art facility, but it has everything you need in terms of the basics. So they do have a wood shop. They also have digital fabrication tools. So they have 3D printers, laser cutters, CNC router, and a die cutter. So they have all those options at their facility. And of course, the building is an older building, so it's not a new construction building, and it is a little bit smaller. It houses all the Master of Architecture students in one building, and they have a separate building for the landscape architecture buildings, and also for the Master in Advanced Studies in Architecture, they have those students in a separate building as well. I would say that's probably the drawback of UBC, is that yes, okay, they're not downtown Vancouver, and yes, the building would be great to get a new building where they can fit all the students in one building, where you can also learn from each other, learn from the bachelor's program, because they are also on a separate building. So it'd be great to be exposed to all of, landscape architecture students, advanced study architecture students in one building, so you can kind of cross-contaminate and also learn from each other and explore different ideas together, because that is the unique thing about architecture, is how you can collaborate with everyone, and that's where you get a lot of ideas too. So I think that would have been great if they can get a new building where they can house all the students in one building. It would be great, and I know that's something that they were looking into when I was enrolled in the program, so I'm sure that's something that's on their list list of things to do. So even though I'm being very picky here with the location and the facility itself, but nevertheless, I would still consider UBC 100%. But just imagine when they do get a new building, how great and how much that will elevate the program onto another level. Number 2, University of Toronto. University of Toronto ranks 46 globally, while UBC ranked 30th. And McGill actually ranks ahead of University of Toronto at 45. However, according to my experience in the industry, I would actually rank U of T ahead of McGill, and this is just based off of my experience in the industry of seeing recent graduates and how easily they can find work and how much in demand they are in comparison. So I would rank U of T a bit higher, and also rank it a bit higher based on the items we're going to be talking about in this video as well. Let's talk about the programs offered at U of T. They offer 10 programs. They offer a Bachelor of Arts of Architectural Studies. They also offer a Master of Architecture. They both offer a professional accredited degree, and they also offer a post-professional. They also offer a Master of Forest Conservation. They also offer a Master of Landscape Architecture, and the Master of Landscape Architecture is both a professional degree and a post-professional. They also offer a Master in Science Forestry, a Master of Urban Design, and that is a post-professional degree. They also offer, and this is unique from all the other programs in Canada, they offer a PhD in Architecture, Landscape, and Design. And they also offer a PhD in Forestry. So the PhD is unique. UBC does not offer a PhD. So that's something that's unique to U of T. And of course, that's also great to have a PhD program because again, you can learn from those students too if you are doing your master's or your bachelor degree. Now, let's talk about the location of where the architecture building is located. U of T, their building is actually located in the heart of Toronto, and they just got a new building and it looks amazing. The interiors look amazing. The studio spaces, informal study areas, just is amazing. It's a dream. It would be a dream to study at U of T in the new building. And of course, because it's a new building, they were able to actually include the undergrad, the master's, the post-professional and professional degrees all in one building, which is definitely an advantage because again, you can learn from each other and explore ideas and collaborate as well. So I would definitely say that the new building and the location of U of T is definitely an advantage. Now, for me, of course, that's not a deal breaker, but that could be something that you're looking into and that could be important to you. Now, let's talk about the tuition fees. Now, U of T has one of the highest tuition fees, so let's review the numbers. So for the Masters in Architecture and Master in Landscape Architecture, you're looking at, as a domestic student, you're looking at $11,400. If you are an international student, you're looking at $48,440. And if you are doing your undergrad, then you would be looking at $7,501.94. As a domestic student, if you are an international student, you'd be looking at $59,141.94 as an international student. So it is a little bit higher in comparison to UBC. Let's talk about the facilities at U of T, which I have to say is absolutely amazing. They have the state-of-the-art digital fabrication tools. Not only do they have the basics, your wood shop, your laser cutter, your 3D printer, your CNC router, and so on, but they also have a robotic arm. Absolutely amazing. This is where U of T really shines, is with their facilities, and the architecture building in itself looks amazing. The studio spaces, they look spacious. It really looks amazing. So this is where they shine. Number 3, Waterloo. Now, Waterloo ranks much lower in the QS from U of T and UBC, but I've included them in the list. They rank about 51 to 100 globally. But I find that the students that do graduate from the Waterloo program are highly sought out by employers. They're technically sound with a variety of programs, and their knowledge of their programs are sound. They come out of the program with sound knowledge of Revit and all the different 3D modeling softwares as well. So that really makes them highly sought out after they graduate. And their program is also unique because they do offer co-op. So you have the ability to gain some experience while you are completing your degree. And this is unique from all the other programs that we've talked about in the video. So Waterloo offers 3 programs. They offer a Bachelor in Architectural Studies. They offer, of course, the Master of Architecture, both professional and post-professional degree. You can also do a co-op with that program. They also offer a Master of Architecture with Structure certificate program. So those are the main programs that they offer. Now the program is located in a small town in Cambridge, and I would say this is a major drawback in comparison to UBC. Yes, the UBC campus is not in downtown Vancouver, but it's still very close. It's 20-30 minutes away, and you can take public transportation, you can take the subway, so it's not too bad in comparison to the Waterloo campus. The Waterloo campus for the architecture building is quite remote. It's in a small town, and yes, they do have buses, but that's about it. So in comparison to UBC, Waterloo is a bit of a drawback in terms of its location. So that's something to think about when you are looking into the program. The program is still good, but that's something that you would have to consider in terms of its location. Now let's get into the tuition costs. Now the graduate program at Waterloo is about $5,449.80. So that's for 1 year. One term is $2,724.90, and that's if you're a domestic student. If you are an international student, you're looking at $15,449.80, and for one term, you'd be looking at $7,724.90. Waterloo is right there with UBC in terms of tuition costs. Now let's talk about the undergrad program and the costs associated. So the undergrad, as a domestic student, you're looking at $10,900 per year. And if you are an international student, you're looking at $59,700. And of course, if you are a co-op student in either the graduate or the undergrad, you're looking at an additional fee of $734 per term if you are an undergrad student. And if you are an undergrad student taking the co-op program, you're looking at $729 per 4-month work term. So there is an additional charge if you are taking advantage of the co-op program. Now let's talk about the facility. Now the architecture building at Waterloo is also an older building, and I would say I did get a tour of that building, and I found that it was a bit cramped. Students were really closely packed up together, so I didn't find it. Of course, it's not as spacious as U of T, their new building, but it's not as spacious as UBC. I would say they're a little less. They're more compact for sure in comparison to UBC. Now, in terms of the facilities, they do have a wood shop, and they have the basics also for the digital fabrication tool. So they also have a 3D printer, a laser cutter, and a CNC router. So they have your basic tools that you would need. If you want more information about doing your master's program, check out this video here. If you are looking for an alternative path to licensure outside of doing a university degree, then I would check out this video here. So I hope you guys got a lot of value out of the video. If you got value out of the video, make sure to like the video. And if you want more content, make sure to subscribe. I hope to see you on future videos. Till then, bye!